This is the story of St. Mercy General Hospital and the last night shift that went horribly wrong. St. Mercy General was built in 1952 on the outskirts of a small town. It was once a bustling medical center, but after a new hospital opened downtown, St. Mercy was left to handle the overflow and the forgotten. The building was old, its walls lined with faded tiles and cracked linoleum. The air always smelled of antiseptic and something metallic, like old blood that never fully washed away. The third floor had been closed for years, sealed off after a fire in the pediatric ward. No one talked about it. No one went up there. Nurse Mandy was transferred to St. Mercy just last week. She had come to check it out 2 days ago. She was a night shift nurse, the only one who took the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. slot. She resumed tonight. She liked the quiet, the steady rhythm of machines, and the feeling that she was needed when the world slept. Tonight, she arrived at 10:45 p.m. The parking lot was empty, the street lights flickering. The front doors were heavy, and the automatic lock clicked shut behind her with a sound that echoed through the empty lobby. The receptionist, Lucy, was already at her desk, sipping coffee. "You're early," she said. "Just wanted to avoid the rain," Mandy replied, shaking off her coat. "Good luck tonight. We're short-staffed. You will be on your own in Ward 2. Ward 2 was the general medical floor. It had 12 beds, all empty except for one, room 204, where a patient named Mr. Hoffman, a 68-year-old man with pneumonia was. He was on oxygen, but stable. Mandy checked his vitals, wrote notes, and settled into the night shift routine. The hospital was quiet, except for the occasional beep of machines and the distant hum of the HVAC system. At 12:13 a.m., Mandy was in the break room, heating up a cup of tea, when she heard a soft thump from the hallway. She looked out the small window in the door but no one was there. She shrugged it off. Old buildings creak. Pipes settle. At 12:47 a.m., she was checking Mr. Hoffman's oxygen levels when she heard a child's laughter, faint, distant, but unmistakable. It seemed to come from the stairwell leading up to the third floor. She froze. The third floor was sealed. The door was locked, the handle rusted. She walked to the stairwell, but the door was still closed. She tried the handle. It didn't move. She went back to Ward 2. Mr. Hoffman was asleep, his breathing steady. She sat at the nurse's station, trying to shake the feeling that she wasn't alone. The fluorescent lights flickered once, twice, then steadied. At 1:22 a.m., the call button in room 207 rang. Mandy frowned. Room 207 was empty. She walked down the hall, past the empty beds, and opened the door. The room was dark, the bed made, the curtains drawn. No one was there. The call button was still flashing. She pressed it to stop it, and the light went off. She turned to leave, but the door slammed shut behind her. She tried the handle, it was locked. She knocked, called out, but no one came. She was trapped in an empty room. She looked around, and in the corner, she saw a small, hand-drawn picture on the wall. It was a child's drawing of a family, a mother, a father, a little girl. The girl was smiling, but her eyes were blacked out with a thick, black marker. Mandy's heart pounded. She pounded on the door, and after a few minutes, it opened. Lucy was standing outside, looking concerned. "Are you okay? You were in there a long time." I don't know. I think I heard something," Mandy said. "Probably the old pipes. This place is falling apart," Lucy replied, but her eyes lingered on the drawing in the room. She didn't say anything else. Mandy went back to the nurse's station. She tried to focus on her paperwork, but the feeling of being watched grew stronger. At 2 a.m., the power flickered. The lights dimmed, and the emergency backup lights came on. The hospital was eerily quiet. Mandy's phone had no signal, the old building blocked reception. She went to the front desk to check the generator, but Lucy was gone. Her coffee cup was still there, half full, but the seat was empty. Mandy walked through the lobby, calling out, "Lucy." No answer. She went to the security office. The guard, Mr. Brown, was slumped in his chair, asleep. She shook him awake. "Did you see Lucy?" she asked. "No. I think she went home early. Said she wasn't feeling well," he mumbled, then fell back asleep. Mandy felt a chill. She went back to Ward 2, but the hallway was longer than she remembered. The door seemed to stretch into darkness. She passed room 210, which was supposed to be a storage closet, but the door was open. Inside, a single child's shoe sat in the middle of the floor. She picked it up. It was small, worn, and had a name written inside, Layla. She remembered the drawing in room 207. The little girl, Layla. She felt a wave of sadness and fear. She put the shoe back and hurried back to Ward 2. Mr. Hoffman was still asleep, but his oxygen mask was off. She rushed to put it back on, but his eyes were open. He looked at her, and whispered, "She's looking for her mother." Mandy's blood ran cold. "Who?" she asked. Mr. Hoffman's eyes drifted to the ceiling, and he said, "The fire, they never left." At 2:33 a.m., the fire alarm went off. Sprinklers started, but no water came out. The lights flickered, and a loud, guttural scream echoed through the hospital. Mandy ran to the stairwell, and this time, the door to the third floor was open. A cold draft came from inside. She could see a faint glow from above. She climbed the stairs, her flashlight shaking. The third floor was a mess: charred walls, broken cribs, and toys scattered on the floor. The air smelled of smoke and something sweet, like burnt sugar. In the center of the floor was a small, makeshift memorial, candles, photos, and a nameplate, Layla 1998 to 2005. Mandy realized this was the pediatric ward that burned down. She heard a soft voice. "Mommy." It was a little girl, standing in the corner, her face pale, eyes dark. She reached out a hand. Mandy stepped back, but the girl's hand brushed her arm. It was ice cold. Mandy's vision blurred. She saw flashes, a fire, a nurse running, a child left behind in a crib. A voice said, "You're still here. Help us." Mandy ran back down the stairs, heart pounding. She found Mr. Hoffman sitting up in bed, unsmiling. He said. "You should have helped them." Mandy ran out to the reception. The lights came back on. Lucy was back at the front desk, sipping coffee, as if nothing happened. "You look pale," she said. "What happened to you? Where were you?" Mandy asked. "I never left. I was here all night." "You were in Ward 2, right?" Lucy said, looking confused. Mandy looked at her watch. 6:58 a.m. The sun was rising. She left the hospital, but as she got to her car, she saw a little girl standing by the door, waving. She turned to look back, but the hospital was gone. In its place was an empty field. The girl was gone too.